Hey guys, hope you all are well. Welcome back to 3D Printing Store's YouTube. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to talk about the last Ender 3 that we have in stock, which is the Ender 3 V2 Neo. Now when I say last one in stock, what I mean is the last of the new ones of the videos that I haven't done yet. So we've done the Ender 3 Neo, the Ender 3 S1, the Ender 3 S1 Plus, the Ender 3 S1 Pro, and now we are lastly at the V2 Neo. If you want to check out those other videos, go visit our page. I am doing them all back to back. You will see them all over there. Quickly, I want to just address something, is that this is just another Ender 3 video, so we're going to do a little bit of a different video here. We're going to chat about the Ender 3 V2 Neo, we're going to review it over here, and then I'm going to do a comparison between Neo and S1. So we're going to see how that's going to go over here. First things first, this is the bad boy himself, the Ender 3 V2 Neo. Now what do you get when you buy this machine? First things first, it is the standard size of an Ender 3, 220 by 220 by 250 high. It's an Ender 3. Ender 3 is the most popular 3D printer in the world for a reason. They're cheap and they're fantastic. I'm really happy that they are bringing out so many different types of Ender 3s, and we're going to address why in a few moments. First things first, what do we get with this machine? Now, we're getting the normal powder tube setup, but we're still getting this plastic lever over here. And if you guys have seen my videos, you know I hate this plastic lever because it eventually breaks. Now yes, we do stock the red aluminium ones, but it's something that I wish Creality has gone through so much effort to make these machines better. The building process of it is so much better. We will get into that. I really wish they would just put in that aluminium lever from the beginning, because they've already putting in the auto bed leveling, they're already putting in the yellow bed leveling springs over here. Why not the aluminium lever? I really wish that they would put that in. So yes, like we said, we are greeted with a CR touch at the bottom over here. It's really nice to have it. I personally like the old-fashioned way of leveling a printer with the paper. It's more reliable to me, but it's nice that we have the option of auto bed leveling, that if you want it, you don't have to put it in after the fact. Like we addressed, we have the yellow springs at the bottom. Now the reason for these springs, we do sell them separate, so if you have an older Ender 3 that doesn't have this, I recommend it, because the springs are a lot more tense and they're a lot stronger, which means your leveling on your bed lasts a lot longer. It's really nice that we have that in over here. And then we have the normal V2 screen that we're all used to. A little bit of a different shape, and it has a different firmware inside, but that is pretty much similar or familiar to all of us. We are then as well greeted with this magnetic build plate that is somewhat steel backed. It does have, as you can hear, does have that steel at the back, which is really nice. It's a really nice feature to have this, because it makes this bed stronger. It does not so flexible. It's not going to tear or break like the older Ender 3 Pro magnetic build plate, which just was too flimsy in my opinion. Magnetic, like we said, and it is quite strong. As you see, we do have these little lips here, and I'm going to grab by just this lip and move this bed along. And this magnetic build tack is not sliding or moving in the slightest. Really nice that we have that. We have our belt tensioners on the X and Y axis. We are only greeted with one rail on the side, not two like we do see in the S1s. And that is what you are receiving, as well as a tray for you to put all your tools in. That's what you receive. Now I want to talk about the assembly of this machine. Like I said, Creality is putting in a lot of effort to make these machines a lot easier to assemble, and I really appreciate that. It's very nice. If you guys have an original Ender 3, you know this was not on, your X-axis was not attached. You had to build everything up. With the S1s, your X gantry was on your Z gantry, but you had to attach your hot end and you had to just bolt that on. Super simple, super nice, super easy. With this guy, your hot end was already on your X gantry and your X gantry was already on your Z gantry. All I had to do was put in the 4 screws on the bottom to bolt this guy on and plug everything in. It was ridiculously easy, it was ridiculously simple, and I was shocked because I was expecting, okay, I'm gonna get a couple of bolts, I'm gonna get a few of these. It was just 4 bolts. That's all that was in the packaging, that's all that you needed. It was really, really fantastic because for beginners, assembling a machine is quite daunting and it's quite intimidating if you don't know what you're doing, and Creality is addressing that and making it as easy as possible, which I absolutely love. I'm gonna grab the S1 and we're gonna see what they both look like next to each other. Alright you guys, as you can see over here, here we have the S1 from the Ender 3, and here we have the V2 Neo from the Ender 3. This is the one that we are talking about. This is this week's product of the week. If you want to see the video that we did on the S1, it is on our YouTube channel. It is on our list of the Ender 3 series. And we are going to chat about what is the same on these guys and what is different with these guys. I will say off the bat that the S1 does come out with a key feature that the Neo does not come out with, and we will get to that now. First things first, we're going to talk about why Creality did a Neo and an S1 of the Ender 3s. I really do think it's a smart move from Creality because what they've done is actually giving you 2 very different machines, but it's still the same machine. So in terms of printing, you're still getting the same build size, you're still getting the same print quality out of these 2 machines, and they just put in a little bit of effort on this guy to make it enough difference from this guy. We are going to first talk about what is the same, and then we're going to talk about what is different on the S1. So as you can see off the bat on the same, we have the same magnetic build tack in the front, and we have the same screen. That's where the similarities stop. As you can see, this guy is a bowed and tube setup, and this guy is a direct drive. And the first time that we saw this hot end over here is on the CR10 Smart Pro, and I was blown away with that hot end. It was fantastic. 3 bolts hold it on, a ribbon cable attaches it, and you're good to go. Really, really cool, and I'm really glad that this is on every single S1, the S1, the S1 Pro, and the S1 Plus. Now, as you can see over here, we both have auto bed leveling with a CR Touch, but like I said, a direct drive, a bowed and tube setup. Now, what is the difference between these? Why do you want one over the other? A direct drive was made for easier printing with filaments like TPU or flexible filaments, and it's just somewhat nicer for certain people. You do have to find out what your preference is. As you find out, you're going to know which way to move forward to. Direct drive is very, very easy. Doesn't have these kind of things that you have to replace or that can break, like this plastic lever over here. This guy has a filament runout sensor, whereas the Neo does not. And now we're going to talk about what is different on the S1. The S1 has 2 rails at the back on independent motors, so 1 on each side, which is going to give you that better build quality. And it's going to have a thicker steel-backed build plate over here. You can use one on the other, it doesn't really matter. It's just that this one is thicker. For that reason, I'm coming to now. Direct drive with a lever at the top over here to hold your filament into the filament runout sensor directly into the hot end, which is really, really nice. As you can see, we do also have a tray. It is very, very similar to this one over here, where this one has a knob, that one has just a little gap for your fingers. Alright you guys, the biggest difference between these 2 is the S1 Creality specifically designed off the bat to be a multi-purpose machine. Now what does that mean? We do have a video on this, so if you want to check it out, it is linked down below, but the S1 series come out with a plug point at the back over here for Creality's diode laser. We do have the 5.5 watt in stock, and it's really, really cool that you can take off this hot end, replace it with a laser, flip this bed over to its shiny side up, and start engraving on wood or anything like that. That is the biggest difference between these two. Now yes, there is a laser kit for the Ender 3s, Neos and the older Ender 3s, but it was an afterthought. It has its own little control unit, everything like that. It's just so that the people that have these or that have just bought the Neos don't get angry that these guys can't do it. So this one comes ready for it. It's in the firmware, it's just a switch over here, and on Creality Slicer you just flip between the two screens, FDM or laser. Whereas this guy, the laser actually mounts underneath the hot end, so it doesn't replace it, it mounts underneath, sits at the bottom, it has its own controller unit. Whereas with the S1, replace this with a laser and plug it in and you're good to go. We did do that laser video on the Ender 3 S1 Plus, and in my opinion it would be beneficial on the S1 series. The S1 Pro is currently 1,500 Rand more than the S1, and if you want to find out what you get with that, we do have a video. And the S1 Plus, in my opinion, is one that you want to go for if you want to go for the engraving. The reason being is that for printing, anyone who's experienced with 3D printing knows that you can get away with this build size. This is more than enough. It's just that you're gonna have to put bigger pieces of prints in multiple pieces. So you're gonna have to print a few times, but you're still gonna get that end result. Whereas the S1 Plus does have a bigger build volume, but the reason why I like that for the laser is that you have a larger area to engrave on. And that's really, really nice, and that is what's important to me on the S1 Plus. You're having a bigger area to engrave on, and you're having a bigger area to print on, which is not the end of the world if you have just this size. As you guys know, on our shop front counter for Centurion, we do have a rifle as long as me, and it was all printed in pieces on the original Ender 3. So you can get away with this build size for printing, and I will show you guys now how this guy prints it. Actually, out of all the Ender 3s and the S1s and the Neos that I have printed with, the Ender 3 V2 Neo, in my opinion, did print the best. Now, in all of my videos of these machines, I do print with them. So if you want to go check that out yourself, just go check out those videos. I do print with all the machines. The Ender 3 V2 Neo printed in the best quality, and in every video with every machine I printed with normal PLA settings from Cura, standard settings. I didn't play around with anything. I didn't adjust resolution, I didn't adjust layer height, I didn't do anything weird in the settings. It was all stock standard settings for PLA on all the machines, and I was very, very surprised that the Ender 3 V2 Neo was a little bit better in terms of quality. You will see that now at the end of this video. So guys, that is why Creality went with a Neo and an S1 for their Ender 3s. Now we do have the Ender 5 S1. It is on our counter, it is getting its own video. So stay tuned for next week when we do that. I am very, very excited for that Ender 5 S1. But as you can see over here, these are our Ender 3s, our Neos, our S1s. I hope you have one. If you don't, go check out our website, link down below. You'll be astonished at the prices of these guys. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next week.